It's a beautiful Saturday morning. Rise and smile. This is what's coming up on the show. We appreciate art at the third edition of the RMB Latitudes Art Fair. The fair offered visitors an incredible experience, bringing together art lovers from across different communities. Thereafter, we caught up with mountaineer and philanthropist Angela Yeung at City Rock in Jozi, just to get a sense of the climb after her recent victory of summiting Mount Everest for a good cause. We then touch base on the measures Meta is using to ensure safety for teenagers online at the Meta Teen account launch. Ziyakhala Mo as we take a detour to Sun City for the Ziyakhala Mo Festival taking place next weekend. Mamela, be there or be told. Utlasala. The inaugural festival is a huge celebration of traditional music, culture, fashion, and many more. We also visited the Credo Mutwa Cultural Village in Soweto that showcases the sculptures as well as the legacy of the renowned late South African artist and traditional healer, Credo Mutwa. We then wrap it up with some self-defense techniques, building character and establishing discipline, learning the beauty of martial arts as well as kickboxing. Only the best in lifestyle and entertainment just for you. Take it away, Candy.
It's giving, good morning, and what an amazing feeling it is to be back with you live from the Auckland Park studios right here on SABC News Channel 404. My name is Kansani Koza, but because we're already family, you already know to please call me Candy. You heard on the headlines, we have a stellar show in store for you. All you have to do is sit back and enjoy the ride. Here's welcoming you to Trendz Live, and we're joined by our sports presenter, Miss Stacey Holland. Welcome to the show. So I hear that Banyana is preparing themselves, to defend their title in Morocco next month. What else can we be expecting this morning?
Yeah, they're definitely going to be excited to defend their title for the WAFCON in Morocco next month, Candy. And it's also an important one for them because they'll be without some key players, but we'll bring you that in the bulletin as well. And then, guys, also coming up, Themba Bavuma and the Proteas men are heading to Zimbabwe, but he won't be playing because he's got a left hamstring injury, which is, I suppose, quite normal after that World Test Championship at Lords. He pushed himself to the limit. But then a young footballer from Bayern Leverkusen has been bought by Liverpool and is breaking records. Florian Wirtz has now made history. He's getting £100 million. Candy, what would you do with £100 million? That's all that's coming up in your sports bulletin on Trendz.
Oh, we are very excited. Can't wait to catch up with Stacey a bit later. For now, though, let's take a look at entertainment news that made waves around the world this week.
Action movie star Tom Cruise, singer and actor Dolly Parton are among the luminaries selected to receive honorary Oscars this year for lifetime achievements. The honorees will receive their Oscar statuettes at the annual Governors Awards Gala in November. Cruise, currently starring in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, was selected for his decades of work in Risky Business, 2 Top Gun movies and several other films. He was nominated for Best Actor twice for Born on the 4th of July and Jerry Maguire, as well as Best Supporting Actor for Magnolia. Parton, a country music singer and star of movies including Steel Magnolias and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, will receive the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award for her charitable efforts. Parton's Imagination Library has provided more than 284 million free books to children over 30 years. She received 2 Oscar nominations for Best Song for the films 9 to 5 and Trans-America. And at the big screens, racing and movie fans converged in the center of Times Square in New York for the world premiere of the new movie F1. Racing star Lewis Hamilton joined forces with filmmakers Jerry Bruckheimer and Joseph Kosinski to create a realistic film that both racing and movie fanatics would enjoy. In the movie, Brad Pitt plays a driver who comes out of retirement to help save his friend's struggling racing team and mentor a young hotshot portrayed by Damson Idris. Portions of the film were shot during real-life F1 events in Abu Dhabi, Mexico City, and other Grand Prix stops. The film will be released in theaters by Warner Brothers on the 27th of June. Over 5,000 kite enthusiasts from 26 countries have gathered on the Danish island of Faroe this week to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the island's Kite Festival. The festival, which opened this past Thursday, will feature more than 25,000 kites. Among the highlights of the festival is a 100-meter-long Indonesian kite. Known for its wide, flat beaches and consistent coastal winds, the island is considered a prime destination for kite flying. Participants from across Europe, Asia, and the United States are attending the festival.
The RMB Latitudes Art Fair returned to Johannesburg for its third edition. The fair offers visitors a unique experience that brings together the art community from across the continent. Trendz live producer Randy Tsubani got to engage with some pretty phenomenal artists. Let's have a look.
Art, creativity, fun, and amazing dialogues. This is where, over the course of the fair, visitors are invited to discover and explore art in all its form, enjoying a diverse program of exhibition, talks, and more. Let's see what the 2025 edition had in store for us.
Lucy, May 25th was, presented us with the third edition of the RMB Latitudes Arts Fair. Kindly take us through why this particular year was different as compared to the past 2 years.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It was an absolute huge success this year. We had about 10,000 people come through, which is definitely a record in terms of numbers. Once again, we were sold out completely, and it was just the buzz, the audience. We had such an incredibly diverse audience. I think people who flew from places like Cape Town just were amazed at how sort of multicultural our event is. It truly is like a moment in time, and everybody's just buzzing off the energy, and we really are still riding high from the success of the fair.
We have artists like Mbali Shabalala, who's absolutely phenomenal. How important, or why do you think it's so important for women to find their own voices?
I think just historically, if you look back, most of the art sales, both in South Africa and internationally, are so sort of orientated to males. Our team is largely women-led. We just feel that it's time for that kind of renaissance, and we want to be part of that. And so we do. We really support women artists and women-led organizations. We just want to shift the needle in terms of making things equitable.
One of the artists, Tando Salman, really made my inner child blossom as he wore a onesie in what we perceive as the color of hope, green.
The inspiration behind this onesie was really just, it was an act of letting go. An act of kind of letting go of like the strenuous type of work I was doing. So I was making a lot of very political, identity-based work, what most artists make, like very post-apartheid work. So if you come from an academic background, a lot of times you have to justify your work. I was so stuck in where I was that I ended up just being like, oh, let me make something fun. Let me make something I enjoy. Let me make something that represents me right now, but also represents, the people around me and how we see ourselves right now. This makes me happy. And painting this makes me happy. The story behind it was that I was so stressed out. My brother was like, put on a onesie. Let's go in the backyard. Let's just take some silly pictures and see where that leads us instead of always trying to find a very serious tone. I realized there's so much space to grow just by hearing how people interpret your work. Because I came here with my own idea and my own sort of set idea, and then all of a sudden there were so many things that people were drawing from, and I had to take notes. I believe that you open the space for critics when you close off the space for creativity. And I think that there should be more open space for creativity, because I think everyone really is creative.
I also sat down with another brilliant artist, Kay Lee, to talk us through the kind of work she resonates with and does.
The painting is called A Gift for the New World. I created it last year as part of a residency that I did in Zanzibar for Forster Gallery. The painting depicts different versions of the same woman offering her newer self to the world as a way of kind of approaching it differently and just seeing how she will be received with all of the changes and growth that she has undertaken. So it kind of looks like a sort of baptism, but it's a really beautiful way of these different women carrying this newer version of themselves into the world and blessing what has become of them rather than kind of holding on to the past. My relationship with Latitudes and RMB started through the Aala Award, which gives young female women identifying artists a platform to begin gaining visibility on their work, having conversations and really just getting a footing. And that really helped me as what they call an emerging artist to begin to engage in those dialogues and reveal my vision of the world.
Collaboration, inclusivity, transformation, and a really good time. The message was clear. There is certainly an appetite for creative exchange within the art space.
I actually got to experience the art fair myself, and it was 10 out of 10 minus nothing. Just like that, we're wrapping up the first quarter and taking a quick break, but we still have more action coming your way. From sports to all things meta, we'll be right back. We're back, and now onto a story of courage and perseverance. Before her climb, Trendz Live interviewed mountaineer and philanthropist Angela Yeung in preparation for summiting Mount Everest. The good news is that she did conquer the daunting mountain expedition, returning alive to share the experience. The excursion's goal was to elevate GBV survivors and to collect bras for women in need. Didintle Mukeleti joined Angela at City Rock in Johannesburg to get a deeper sense of the climb. Let's get more.
This space is ideal for the preparation and navigation of rock or mountain climbing. Angela Yeung spent many hours here, gaining technique, momentum, and the confidence to summit the highest peak in the world.
So usually what we do, we zoom ourselves up. So what we do is to put this device onto the rope. So you make sure everything it's all in place. Your harness is in place. All your everything is locked. You really need to look after yourself and to make sure that you are healthy enough. And also acclimatization is very important. So you go up, you sleep down. You go up again and you come back down to sleep. That's how you acclimatize yourself.
We also got a few tips from those who are familiar with the daring sport of rock or mountain climbing.
Climbing a mountain and picking Everest as the mountain is very difficult. Your body has to be prepared for it. You also need to get your upper body nice and strong, so that involves lots of indoor climbing like what we do here. Maybe even incorporating some lifting weights and getting the body prepared. So being at the heights, being used to being exposed to the open air behind you, getting used to the rocks and the feeling, holding small things, holding big things, holding unusual shapes as well, and being able to pull yourself up and get yourself up to that mountain.
It's perfect because you can push the boundaries, you can develop your strength, you can develop your confidence, you can practice difficult moves in a safe way, which will then translate really nicely on the mountain where things are not quite as controllable.
As they assimilated rock climbing with mountain climbing, here's the true experience from the lady who went through the excruciating pain of the real trail. Sometimes temperatures dropped from -30 to -40 degrees. And congratulations for summiting Mount Everest. You did it, girl! Yay! Awesome!
I climbed from the north side. North side have no rescue, so that's very dangerous. It was going through the anxiety. I mean, not knowing what to expect. You kind of know the route, you read about it, you watch it, and you mentally imagine, visual yourself to be climbing through that route. But when you're there, it's a very different story. It was 50 days for the whole expeditions. It's important that you have to actually also acclimatize. If you're not acclimatized and the high altitude, you can actually die on the mountain. So what we do, we climb up and we rest and we come back down and you sleep on the lower camp, and then the next day you go higher and then you come back down to your advanced base camp. That's where the base is. During the climbing, it's a lot to do with mental strength and to have self-awareness and be able to, every time when you see that's a camp, but you actually felt like you're not getting there and you feel exhausted, and so much to do with conversation with yourself and also be able to encourage your own self.
Take us through the feeling of victory when you finally made it to the top.
It was so much at the same time because the wind was blowing, the snow was actually falling on you, and you can only have 5 minutes when you get to the top. You can't expose yourself to be there for too long because you can actually have frostbite. Take a picture and making sure we pull up our South African flag, and also what is the message that I want to give to the people is to making impossible possible. So that was the message that I want to give out, and I hold up my bra and to say, you know, I really climb for the victim of gender-based violence.
The amount of mental fortitude that you need as well. She was telling us about how she was walking past dead bodies and she would stop and she would have to, or she would just have a spiritual moment with them. And it was, I don't think that I am mentally strong enough, and I really applaud her for that.
A courageous endeavor to reach 8,849 meters for a worthy cause. Peaking Everest was indeed an act not only of physical endurance, but a living tribute to resilience and justice for every South African with a mountain to conquer.
Such bravery. You heard Stacey a little bit earlier giving us a little teaser of what's happening on the sports front. So, Mrs. Holland, I'm handing over to you now as our legendary lady of the match. You ready?
I'm ready, Candy. Let's get into it in your Trendz Live Sport. While the preparations are well underway for Banyana to go and defend the Women's Africa Cup of Nations title in Morocco next month. Banyana will be without their star player Thembi Kgatlana due to personal reasons, while Jermaine Sepo-Senwe has announced that she will be retiring after this year's WAFCON. Even so, coach Desiree Ellis says that her team is ready to go and defend the title that they won 3 years ago. Moving on to other football stories, we have Espérance Sportive de Tunis. They have earned their first victory in the FIFA Club World Cup after beating Los Angeles FC 1-0. This victory revives the Tunisian Giants' dream to progress to the next round of the competition, as they now have 3 points level with Chelsea. And speaking of Chelsea, Flamengo overturned a first half deficit to defeat Chelsea 3-1. That's also in the FIFA Club World Cup, their Group D clash over there. Well, the result leaves Flamengo on top of Group D with 6 points from 2 matches, while Chelsea remain second with 3. We're still staying with football news. It's all football heavy this weekend. Kazrick Stars are set to host Orbit College at the Solomon Mahlangu Stadium, and that's as the fight for the spot in the Betway Premiership intensifies. So if we look at this, after 2 matches, all 3 teams participating in the playoffs have 2 points following their draws. Kazrick Stars have played to a goalless draw with their Motsepe Foundation Championship rivals, and that's before coming back from behind to earn a 1-1 draw and that's against Cape Town City. Meanwhile, Orbit College are yet to score any goals in the playoffs, and that's after they played to a goalless draw against Cape Town City and Kazrick Stars as well. I did mention it's very football heavy, but now we move to Europe. Liverpool have signed Florian Wirtz from Bundesliga side Bayer Leverkusen as they smashed their transfer record to seal the deal for an attacking midfielder. Well, Leverkusen will receive a guaranteed amount of £100 million and a further maximum of £16 million in the potential bonuses. Well, that makes the 22-year-old Liverpool's most expensive signing ever. And that's obviously ahead of Netherlands centre-back and captain Virgil van Dijk, who joined for £75 million, and that was back in 2017. Well, Wirtz, who signed a 5-year contract, also becomes the 5th £100 million plus signing in Premier League history. He joins Chelsea midfielders Enzo Fernandez, and as well as Moises Caicedo, Arsenal's Declan Rice, Manchester City's winger Jack Grealish, and then the German also bagged 57 goals and provided 65 assists in 197 appearances, and that is for Leverkusen, and he has joined the club from Cologne in 2020. Let's move though to some tennis news. And Carlos Alcaraz has advanced to the semi-finals of the Queen's Club after beating Arthur Rinnekesh in French 7-5, 6-4. The 22-year-old converted each of his 2 break points as he extended his sequence of match wins to a career-long 16. 5-time Grand Slam champion Alcaraz will face another Spaniard in the semi-final, and that's in Roberto Bautista Agut. He defeated Holger Rune 7-6, 6-7, and 6-2. Meanwhile, Jack Draper has also advanced to the semi-finals as the Queens for the first time with a 6-4, 5-7, and 6-4 win over Brandon Nakashima. Well, Draper not only kept himself on track for the prestigious ATP 500 title, but he also secured the win that guarantees a top 4 seeding at Wimbledon, where he'll be the big home hope. The 23-year-old was fully tested by world number 32 Nakashima, and his powerful game began to misfire as he lost the second set. But then Draper settled back into the groove in the deciding set, and he broke serve in the 7th game with one of his trademark forehand pile drivers. That's all that I have for you for Trendz Live Sport. From me is Stacey Holland. It's going to be back to Candy after this break. You got to stay tuned, because if you're a teenager on social media, or if you're a parent of a teenager on social media, we'll be looking at the launch of Meta Teen.
All right, I mean, if you missed all that sports action, then you are going to be in trouble. But hopefully next week you'll get more stuff that is happening. And we hope that you're also just keeping warm in this cold weather, and that all the heat that's coming from Trendz Live is also just for measuring you. Let's get to please also just join us on our social media pages. We are at Trendz on SABC, and that is on X. So before the break, we spoke about Meta, and that's essentially the question, or rather the platform that's giving parents security and safety for the usage of social media by their teens. Because a lot of people have the question of, is it safe, is it not? But luckily, Puleng Mulibatsi got to find out a thing or two from some influencer moms and, you know, moms with teens. And now we get to answer the question because of Meta. Take a look.
Press tap. Yes. One, tap. But it's quick, so it's clap.
They're usually fun and playful online, but today these influencers came together for something more serious: teen safety.
Today we are introducing Instagram teen accounts. It is a new experience for teens guided by parents. So with teen accounts on IG, what happened is that young people who are between the age of 13 and 16 are automatically placed in what we call Instagram teen accounts, which come with default settings that place them in an environment that is more restrictive, I would say, when it comes to content that they can view, when it comes to people who can contact them, but also when it comes to screen time. And the great thing about it is the fact that parents actually have those controls, as in parents can see who contact their kids, parent can set screen time, parent can see who they follow, parent can see also the type of content that the kids see. And that's really is amazing because it provides parents this, I would say, peace of mind that their teens are using social media in an environment that is safer. And it provides teens also the reassurance that content that they see is appropriate for their age. It provides them with new experiences as well to stay in touch with their friends.
This is all part of Meta's mission to create safer spaces for teens and a peace of mind for their parents.
There's TGPV, and a lot of these statutory rape cases don't just start physically. Where do minors meet these adults that they shouldn't be engaging? They meet them from social media, and also protecting children from pornography and protecting them from unsafe content on social media. It's a step in the right direction in addressing TGPV in our country.
Our children are important to us, and it's important to be very much aware that we need to help them navigate life through the social media, because we can't run away from the fact that social media is part of us and it's life now. Yeah.
Does she have a social media account? Like, did you create one for her already?
I did. She does have her own, but because she's still young, I'm still controlling it. It's on my phone. But you know, it's one of those things where she's not really obsessed with it. And like I was saying when I was talking there, that we have to teach our kids, I say my story about shoot the content every day, because there's more important things in life like school, playing. And then she goes to play, you know, and I'm still enjoying that part because I saw more the obsession of, do they like me? Don't they like me? So I think we must also remind our kids that it is also fun to have social media, but let's balance it.
Being a teacher and a mom, this is super, super important. I know what's happening on social media. I had to deal with it every single day with the kids at my school. And now being a mom who has to navigate kids that are going to obviously jump onto social media not too long from now, I need to know, like, are they safe? How am I going to navigate that? Open conversations. You know, I don't want them to experience what I went through, and I also don't want them to experience what my children at schools went through, you know, which is difficult because obviously you can't navigate and control what people are saying and doing online.
What dance is hot? Is it Lao? I'm just wondering, like, what is like a hot dance move out there?
I think the dwa is taking over right now. You know, the whole dwa. Yes, I think it's
something like, about a touch line.
Yes,
dwa.
Touch line.
Dwa. Yeah. But is this even a dance move? It's a hand gesture.
I feel like it's become a dance move. Because in South Africa, what do we do to each other? Dwa. And now on the dance floor, you just go and you go dwa, and then everybody's like, dwa. You know?
You are watching Trendz live. Honamona who? SABC man.
Halala, SABC News. Uthuso Mutaung, le
Halal, City FM.
Ziyakhala Mo Festival is where African rhythms and vibrant culture come alive. Get ready for a weekend getaway where tradition meets trend and the vibe is non-stop. Experience electrifying live performances, rich cultural flair and unforgettable moments for everyone, courtesy of a groundbreaking partnership between Sun City and 9 of the SABC's African language stations. Prepare to dance all day and night in the iconic Sun City Super Bowl to the sounds of various South African talent. The Ziyakhala Mo Festival is going to be epic, you understand. We have 2 stakeholders from different SABC radio stations in studio this morning to take us through what we can look forward to. Nkosinathi Ntuli, business manager for Ikokwezi as well as Likwala Kwala FM, and from Lesedi FM and Mutwa FM, we're also joined by marketing manager Jabulile Khumalo Perwane. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
How are you feeling to be here on Trendz Live to talk about the Ziyakhala Mo Sun City Festival?
Excited, super excited.
Ziyakhala.
I love it. But I mean, I have to start with this. I mean, this is the first festival, but what makes it so special and different from other festivals out there? What if anyone can go?
Okay, so this is not just any festival. It's a carefully curated experience showcasing beautiful South African culture, talent, fashion, food, Ziyakhala. Ziyakhala, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing because it's going to be going down. Yes. So, Nati, because Jabu took the first question, I have to ask you, where did the idea for the festival actually originate from?
Well, actually, I liked what you said earlier, that it's tradition and trends essentially meeting. The idea, I mean, you know, SABC, we are always in search of partnerships, strategic partnerships. We have been in conversation with Sun City over a number of elements that we'd like to partner with them on. Okay. And it so happened that Sun City also had been having an idea of having a festival. So we thought, I mean, why not take that, essentially that particular idea, convert it into a beautiful experience where you celebrate African culture and South Africanness, if you will. Yeah. So that's essentially how it came about. So we felt that let's go and celebrate who we are. Let's take our identity to the world and bring Africa home. And
bring it to the Super Bowl. I love when great minds come together. But I'm sure people at home are very curious, Jabu, like, who are some of the artists that we could be expecting, you know, at the festival?
Oh my goodness. So we've got performances from Datestana, we've got Casper Nyovest, we've got Dr. Nothembi Mkhwebane, we've got Ringo Madlingozi, we've got Java, Mthandeni SK, and we felt like these artists were perfect and they are the best representation for authentic South African music. So there's a lot of more artists, Lwandle Nkulu, but just come through.
These big names,
big names.
It's like you want to give them a taste, but not too much so that they can experience it for themselves. And I actually was going to ask you why these artists specifically, but I think that you summed it up so beautifully. I mean, Mo Mzansi, a lot of people use Ziyakhala Mo quite often in different ways. You know, Ziyakhala in Zulu means it's happening. Mo ka Setswana, it's here. What is it about this particular phrase that you hope that, you know, people take away from this festival?
The beauty of our diversity. I mean, South Africa is a very diverse country. We've got 12 official languages. We've got different cultures. And in our differences, actually, we've got a lot of commonalities. So we felt that let's combine who we are and put it under one roof. And why not also include essentially the naming of the whole project. Essentially include that particular aspect in the naming of the project where we celebrate the different languages that we have in South Africa. Ziyakhala, like you said, I mean, it's about it happening.
Yeah,
and
it's
also
going down.
It's happening in the Northwest. So it's I
love it. And I think that's also so great that you use, like, you know, the Tswana and the Zulu. And we just kept it very diverse and open to so many languages that are here for us in South Africa. And the fact that anybody from even Africa can come to this concert and just be a part of the movement. But, you know, you spoke about it right now, but I hope that you both can just help me just unpack this one to say, was it intentional to only work with 9 of SABC, you know, radio stations? Because we just come from Africa Month last month, you know, which is all about celebrating our heritage. I mean, this month we're in Youth Month. So what was that, like, strategic element? Because there's other radio stations on the SABC, but why these 9 in particular?
I mean, you know, we do quite a lot as the SABC. I mean, from an event perspective, we just had, like you said now, we just had the Metro FM Awards. And when it came to this one, we felt that it's about time that we also demonstrated the power of African language radio stations and also start telling a different story about African language radio stations, not only to our consumers, but to the industry as well. Demonstrate how powerful they are as a collective. And guess what? Right now, Ziyakhala sold out, I mean, in less than a month.
Hey, well, we'll speak about that part, sold out. I have to ask you, Jabu, is there a particular way that your radio stations are, you know, preparing for the celebration? Because so many people are excited about it, you know, for your listeners and just even for people watching at home to know more.
Yes, so we are we're literally on every day. We're providing everyone with information. We're running promos. We're doing interviews with all the artists. The artists are very excited. Everyone is shooting skits. We are preparing for the pre-party, and I mean, Mudoa FM is hosting 2, not just one.
Not just one.
Not just one. 2 pre-parties on Friday night. So there's something for everyone, and we're just really excited to bring all our listeners in one Super Bowl and just have fun.
And just have fun. I know there's a hashtag that's going around for the festival. Koje, what's it? Hashtag
Ziyakhala Mo Sun City.
Hashtag Ziyakhala Mo Sun City. I absolutely love it. But I'm sure people at home are just like, because I heard it's sold out, and I'm not sure if that's true, but we need more details, guys. When is it happening? What time are the doors opening? You know, like what's happening with ticket sales? Like, just give us all the information that we need so that people at home can figure out a way to get themselves parati inside.
Okay, so 28 June, we unfortunately sold out. Guys, the event is sold out. If you don't have your tickets, please buy early next year. So 28 June, doors are opening at 2 p.m. The show starts promptly at 4. We don't have opening acts. Everyone is a star. Everyone is a main act. So if you arrive later than 4, you're going to miss the main act. So 4 p.m. promptly we start. The show goes on up until 2 o'clock in the morning.
We've got
an after party. It's going to be great.
Yeah, but you know, as we wrap up the interview, and I think I want sentiments from the both of you, you're working at the SABC, very rooted in tradition and culture and celebrating our heritage. But what do you hope this festival, you know, inspires people about and influences them when they walk away from the concert, and also next year to be like, I'm going to be at that festival?
I think starting with our consumers, I mean, it's about us celebrating who we are. That is why we were intentional in not taking this event or doing this event in May during Africa Month. We felt that it's also, we need to demonstrate that culture continues to live amongst our people. Hence, we took it and ensure that we have it in during Youth Month. One. Number 2, it's winter. And I mean, we're doing it during Youth Month and in winter, and it's sold out. So we are saying, let's come and celebrate. Let's come and celebrate our diversity, our togetherness, and ensure that we show the entire world who we are as a people. That's 1, to the consumers. Number 2, to the industry as a whole. African language radio stations are alive. There's a lot of swag in African language radio stations. Jebs right now just spoke about the pre-party that Mudoa FM, pre-parties.
Yes, it's plural, not just one.
Yeah, not just one. So Mudoa will be hosting. I mean, that also speaks of the capabilities of these stations, and also what these stations represent. They represent young and old. It's about culture, but at the same time, culture continues to evolve, and we are celebrating all that.
I'm going to stop you right there, Nkosinathi, because I wonder just to add more elements to just the experience for the 28th of June. You know, outside of the attire and the performances and the music, but like, what other experiences at being in Sun City will the Ziyakhala Mo Festival be bringing to the people? Okay,
so like we said, the weekend is jam-packed. Friday, we've got the pre-parties. Saturday morning, we've got an entire radio village for our SABC stakeholders and clients. I know we might be opening it up to a few of the public.
Crossing fingers,
but we've got a beautiful radio village that we're going to be setting up there. All our radio stations will be broadcasting from 9 to 12. So those are the few surprises that we have for the weekend. You're making me like now.
No, we mustn't reveal too much.
I don't want to reveal too much.
I don't know how the viewers at home are going to get themselves tickets if they haven't gotten them, but I'm hoping one of your stations can do something.
We also have a leopard carpet. We don't have a red carpet. We are taking it all the way. It's African. So we've got a leopard carpet. The VIP ticket holders are in for a treat.
I see that you are dressed in that print already. Thank you so much to the both of you for being here. I'm already getting just so excited about the festival. Oh my gosh, Ziyakhala Mo Sun City Festival invites you all to showcase unique traditional attire as we immerse together to celebrate the rich cultural heritage of South Africa. More than just music, it's about sound and style. Drawing its particular lineup are Mazanti's finest musical heavyweights. It's going to be a party for sure, with all kinds of fun and excitement in store. But on that note, we're taking a little short left to an ad break. Let's go suda. We are now in the final quarter and are stepping to a world of vibrant African cultural and heritage, where arts collides with tradition. The Credo Mutwa Cultural Village, situated in the heart of Soweto, is a treasure of sculptures and stories that reveal the life and legacy of the legendary traditional healer Credo Mutwa. Trendz live producer Bulelani Lukokwana was immersed with a walk around of this ancient village. Now we get to share in the experience.
Home to true African culture, this cultural village is where tradition and storytelling blend to celebrate the life and work of this remarkable traditional healer.
Acknowledgement is important. That is Umsam. That is where we go in and Pasha in. That is where when the traditional leaders are coming down here to connect, if they want to blend, first thing first, they go to Umsam and Pasha the Credo Mutwa.
As we walked through the village, we noticed different huts, each serving a different and unique purpose.
Each and every hut has its own stories to tell. That will be the shepherd's hut, that will be the Batswana hut. Behind us, that is the rain hut, where he will create rain. That is the pyramid, is Utogoto. Utogoto, which means the traditional hospital. Then we have the shangans, we have the storytelling room, and then others they will serve where the people are living. But this is where they will tell the stories. This is where they will connect. When we are doing an interview, it's called, when we say Kwaka Islander, we speak about where this is where we stand, we tell our stories in this space. This is where African rituals are performed in this space. Ceremonies are happening in this space.
Silo shed some insight into Babu Credo's life, giving us an understanding of this incredible artist and traditional healer.
Credo Mutwa was born in 1921 on the 21st of July. He passed on in the year 2020 on the 25th of March at the age of 99. He was a historian, playwright, architect, painter, philosopher, sculptor, and a traditional healer. We black South Africans, we used to call him Isanus, which is the great chairman, the chosen one.
One of the fascinating things about Babu Credo was his reputation for foretelling the future, which is reflected in his thought-provoking artwork.
Credo Mutwa wanted to preserve this space to show that as African people, we have our own ways of communicating with our Creator. That is why as African people, we don't believe, we know.
This is one of the Botswana houses, showcasing the traditional architecture and cultural heritage of Botswana's rich history.
Credo Mutwa was Ukoko, an elderly man. He played an important role in making sure that he paves the way of us as the children of Africa, especially the people who live in the urban area, to know and understand who we are, to learn how we used to connect.
That's a wrap for us at the Credo Village, where tradition meets artistry and African culture comes alive. The sculptures, the stories, and the spirit of the village will definitely stay with us forever.
No truer words. Their honesty will stay with us forever. Oh, I love being African. Self-defense, fitness, discipline, and building character are the qualities that one often possesses as a kickboxer and martial arts expert. Randy Tsubani, our Trendz live producer, got to show us a few of her own moves, rather. So let's see what really went down. I'm so excited.
For traditional self-defense techniques and modern combat sports, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, as well as kickboxing is where it's at. Let's get ready to rock.
I specialize in a form of martial arts which is called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and this martial arts mainly focuses on like grappling. And when I talk about grappling, I mean having like physical contact with the opponent by grabbing whatever part of the body that you can to get control. How it's different from kickboxing is there's no striking, meaning there's no kicking, there's no punching. It's very effective for certain self-defense scenario.
How is martial arts beneficial in terms of self-defense?
One of the main things that we always talk about in martial arts, and it doesn't only just stop in jiu-jitsu. It's like kickboxing or whatever form of self-defense training you do. It teaches you firstly emotional regulation, so that you don't panic the minute something happens. So if someone is attacking me and like their intention is just to take something that belongs to me, I'm not gonna panic and just start fighting for no reason. I'm just gonna remain calm, try to keep the distance, and then if the need does come for me to defend myself in a way that involves me getting physical, I will do so.
How fit do you need to be to do martial arts, either as a sport or just as a lifestyle?
There's a lot of demand for you to actually be fit, you know. The good thing about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is that you tend to get fit as you're training, you know, but you do get some benefits from like hitting the gym and like doing some weights, doing a bit of cardio for running and that kind of stuff. So
what am I wearing, and what does the white belt symbolize?
Okay, so you're wearing a gi, a kimono, with this top part over here, and different parts of the gi are meant to be used for certain things. So this part is called and when I teach jiu-jitsu, I always refer to them as the collar part, and then the rest of the part over here is the lapel. Obviously the sleeves are also very effective for controlling your opponent. In terms of the belt, and then when it comes to adults, we've got white belts, which is obviously the person who's a beginner.
Another form of martial arts is Wing Chun. Irvin Ramashia, a Combat Com CEO, tells us exactly what it is and where it originated from.
Wing Chun originates from northern Hong Kong. Wing Chun tends to be more vertical. It's like kickboxing, you standing, which there's nothing wrong with that. But then what happens if I get tripped or I fall over a stone? I end up on the ground. Does that mean now I have a weakness? No, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu comes in. I need to be able to fight holistically, vertical and horizontal. We live in a society and a world where, unfortunately, violence exists. People have to protect themselves. You can get a pepper spray, but they become situations where you are now caught without the pepper spray. And last case scenario, I can only depend on myself, these hands and these legs. So if I'm pushed into a corner, who else is going to be there besides me? So it's not necessarily about promoting violence, but rather promoting self-defense, being able to be aware mentally and emotionally.
We now tap into kickboxing, and I was quite curious to know why it's fun and what we can take away from it.
I love kickboxing. It's good for the body. I've never got into any fight. So it teaches you to control yourself, even in whichever situation that you can face or meet. I've went in places, you know, even if like people talk anything to me, it's fine, it's okay. I just let it go up until you start fighting me. So then I'll have to defend myself, of which that's why I'm doing kickboxing.
Now, the beauty of learning how to defend yourself is precisely because of this, man down. Now, this particular technique is called the scissor sweep. And on that note, please stay safe and always be aware of your surroundings.
Thank you, Randy, and you actually did such a great job. Today's show truly packed a punch, and we hope that you are here for all of it. Thank you for making time for Trendz Live this morning, and just know we appreciate you so much. We trust you'll join us and tune in next week from 9 a.m. as we do it all again right here on SABC News Channel 404. A big shout out to the team, to Stacey Holland, and our guests for joining us. Have yourself a super rest of your Saturday. And until next time, my name is Candy. And you know what I like to say? Stay sweet. Mwah. Bye.